Hey there and welcome back in. We are going to be painting a nice lighthouse scene today. And I actually got this idea from one of my lovely subscribers. And so thank you, Melinda, for that suggestion. And let's just get right into it. We're going to start with a light pencil sketch just to kind of, get an idea where we're going here. So I'm just going to start with our basic, lighthouse shape. We're just going to do a line. We're going to do a line. And we're going to connect those up here. I'm going to draw a couple other lines, slightly going outwards and connecting those. And then going even more outwards, or maybe continuing those two little lines. We're going to put one right there. Okay. And then we're going to kind of do the glass, kind of just like a series of just little shapes, if you can think of it that way. And then for the top, it's going to be like a triangle. I am going to go out a little bit with a triangle. So this is going to be the base of our triangle. The top of this rectangle is the base of our triangle, but just having the lines go out a little bit more. And we're just going to go like this and bring it down. Or I'm going to do a ball on top and a little line like that. Whoops, didn't give myself a lot of extra room, let's say that. Okay, this is going to be on some rocks. So I'm just going to like kind of loosely draw in some bumpy lines down here. And we'll have it go down like that. And then maybe just a little indication of our ocean right there. And I'm just going to draw a little door on the side here. Kind of an arched door. That just feels good to me. All right. And we'll do some windows. I don't know. I didn't study lighthouses, so I really don't know what the windows are for, but I've seen them be long rectangles. I've seen them be arched windows. And I don't know what to do. Let me see. I can barely see my pencil lines. All right, so let's put one up here. I've seen them be random, so I'm not sure. I'm just going to make them random. Maybe this one's coming over. Yeah, we'll put it right above the door. Oops. Kind of. All right, that's random enough for me. And now we can start painting. Let me show you the last lighthouse that I made. And I say made instead of painted because to my memory, I don't think I've ever painted a lighthouse in watercolor. I did this one digitally, which I love because to me it kind of looks like acrylics. But anyway, that's digital art that I just did on my iPad. And then I had it printed to a canvas. And I really like it. But I'm excited to try it in watercolors today. And this one is my interpretation of Portland Headlight in Maine. Now, I have black in my palette. If you remember, I filled these with my Winsor & Newton tube paints, and I added black, which is controversial, and that's okay. And I don't mind using it, but I am trying to spread my wings a little bit and try different things. So I am going to mix together French ultramarine and burnt umber. So that's this and this. Okay, we're starting with the French ultramarine, adding our burnt umber until we get the color that we're looking for. That's looking pretty good. It's kind of looking nice and gray. All right, I have mixed some more in there. Probably still need more than this, but that's okay. I'm just going to put a little water in this one, add a little of this because I want a nice light wash of this because that's what I'm going to put down for my first layer. And I really could have done this before I drew the windows, but that's okay. I'm just going to go around the windows. Not that I need to, because I'm actually going to probably do some gray in the windows as well. But we are just going to start here. I'm not doing the whole thing. I'm just kind of shading. I'm going to have my light coming from this direction. So I'm just going to kind of shade this side of the lighthouse. And on the sides of the windows too, assuming there's maybe a little bit of shadow there and underneath. Might be being a little too careful here, but that's okay. Oh, I'm kind of going down in the rock. That's the problem with not being able to see my lines very well, but that's okay. It's all going to work out. I'm going to go on this side of the door as well. Under the window. Okay. We're going to leave it there for now. My brush is pretty dry right now. I'm just kind of doing a little bit of dry brush. Maybe I'll go a little bit under here as well. All right, and I am going to go in the windows very, very lightly. And I'll be outlining those as well. I'm going to dry this. So now I'm going to come in and do some stripes on the lighthouse. I'm going to get my pencil again. I should have drawn those in because I'm not sure where I want my stripes to be. I think right above. I'm barely making a mark here. I'm just kind of, and it doesn't matter, by the way, if you remember, I said we're doing line and wash, or at least I am. So really, I don't know why I'm making my pencil lines so light, you know? I'm making it more difficult for myself because I'm going to go over this with pen. So let me just fill this in so you can maybe see what I'm doing too. And then I also can. And just speeding you up through this part because I'm just going over lines that are already there. There, I feel like we can see that a lot better now. It's going to make my life easier and hopefully your viewing a little nicer as well. Okay, back to drawing in my stripes. So there's the bottom of our first stripe. And the top, maybe we'll just do, I didn't make this very big. Let's go right above that window. Do we just do one? It looks like we're just doing one. All right, so let's just go ahead and paint in. I'm going to take my clip off because it's going to be in my way. And I'll just hold it with my hand. Oh yeah, back to my Band-Aid. I thought a narwhal was a nice little touch. I keep some fun Band-Aids around for when the grandkids come. Now, if you go outside the lines or whatever, don't worry about it. We're not trying to be perfect. I am being careful just because I want it to look nice, you know? Kind of like even if I was just coloring in a coloring book. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I like to be inside the lines. And since I'm just filling in this little shape here around the windows, I'm speeding you up. I really like that. Somebody asked me, I think in my last video too, left a comment and asked how I'm liking this paper because it's very toothy. It's very thick and I am loving it. I can't believe the difference this paper is making for me. I mentioned I'm just going to crisp up this line here. I mentioned in the beginning that I started a practice sketchbook and I started it on a kind of low budget, low quality paper. And it was fine. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the painting, but oh my goodness, this paper just behaves or receives the paint so much differently and to me so much more beautifully. Because if I'm going by the first two paintings I did in this sketchbook, I rarely have to come in and do a second coat. We'll see with this because I do want this to be dark, but when it dries, it might be a lot lighter like watercolors tend to do. I just notice it less in this paper with this paper. Okay, let's see. That is dry. Now, I am going to add one more coat to this just because I want it to be extra dark. I don't think we could get by with it not having any more paint on it, but I'm just going to add that in here. And then I think I'm actually going to come in with my pen details. Usually I do that at the end, but I think for this one, since we're going to kind of add like a railing up near the top of our lighthouse, I just think it'll be helpful. It'll be helpful for the rocks and all the things. But yeah, back to, I can't remember how much I told you about my practice sketchbook. I am going to just be working on that behind the scenes and try to, I was going to say force myself. I was hesitant. I'm not trying to force myself. I'm trying to get into a habit of practicing more, because just with my job and just life responsibilities, I don't have a lot of time to just sit and play and paint. So the majority of the time I'm doing my videos, it's the first time I'm attempting whatever the picture is. And it can be fun, but it can also kind of be a little bit stressful when I really have no idea. Like the first painting I did in the sketchbook, that ice cream cone, I had never attempted the shading that I did in that cone, which I'm so pleased with how it turned out. And a lot of you have shown me yours. And oh, I want to show you this message I got from somebody that their kids tried the ice cream cone and they did such a good job. Aren't those great? I love the cherries on top. I love how they made it their own with the cherries and with the one that did the blue paint. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Anyway, love when you guys share your paintings, whether it's on a Facebook page or in my Instagram messages. Some of you email me. I love it. Anyway, I'm going to be practicing because it's stressful if I don't know how it's going to turn out. I mean, not like stressful, I'm going to lose sleep over it, but it's just kind of, it's nice knowing, painting this right now, it's nice knowing that I've already done it once, and that means I can do it again. Okay, I'm going to come in with a size 8 micron. Now, since I am using the pen in between and I am going to be adding more paint, it's important to have a waterproof pen. So if you don't have one of these, if you just have like a Sharpie or something, just wait till all your paint is done. But I'm just going to get into it here. And I'm going to be a little bit precise here on this first go. I mean, precise, that's kind of, it's not really precise, but I'm going to be a little careful. And then I'm guessing, I'm going to go a little scribbly once we get the rest of the paint in, depending what I think. Because sometimes when lines are too straight, it just kind of stresses me out. I love the scribble. I know you know that if you've been here a little bit. And what I also love about the pens is that they just cover up any quote unquote mistakes that I make, you know? Okay. Kind of not loving the door here. I feel like I need to make the door smaller. Is it too late? Is it too late? I don't know. We're going to try it. I didn't do this in my practice one. And this paper doesn't really maybe erase the best. I'm probably putting eraser shavings in my paint. Listen, I never said I was professional. Okay. I am just going to get some of our light wash again. And perhaps, well, I'm just going to paint the whole thing in because the door, I want the door to be black. I thought about doing it red, but I did it black in my practice piece, and I really like how that looked. I really like how dark this is. I'm glad that I did another coat on that. All right, let's dry that just because I'm going to come up here with the pen, but I don't want to put my hand in it. Again, just tracing here, so we're going to speed up because you don't need to sit through that real time. You're welcome. So this is going to be kind of a railing. So I'm going to put some lines here. I guess it's a railing. I don't know. Do people go up in these things? I don't really know. Okay. And let's kind of have like a little slanty line coming here and here. We're going to bring this down as well, because you would be able to see this if there was just a railing. Maybe I'll make these lines bolder. Yeah, I don't know that the practice really helped me. I just keep adding things here. I'm trying to just make it look like, you can see the railing behind as well. We'll see. Now for our rock colors. I'm going to use some yellow ochre. I'll get some of that, get some water on some of these colors. And I'll use the burnt umber just like I did in whatever, that dark black that I made. And then some burnt sienna too. This is burnt sienna, this is burnt umber. But I'm going to use these 3 colors for now for our rocks. And again, you can see I got the gray in there. Doesn't matter because this is going to be a lot darker. So I'm going to wet the rock first because I want these 3 colors to blend together. I'm not even going to put them in the palette. I am just going to let them mix right on the paper. The other thing about my practice sketchbook that I'm excited about, that it wasn't my plan going into it, but I thought, oh, this is a great way to use up the paint from my previous paintings. And so I did that. I'm excited to show you my practice sketchbook once it's all filled up. But in the meantime, I'm just going to kind of use that to just, practice before I start these videos. All right, there's my yellow ochre, and I'm just going to dab that in, rinse my brush off, grab some burnt sienna and dab that in. And then we'll also get our burnt umber. I do want to get right up to the line, although I don't have to because, like I said, I think I'm maybe kind of sort of going to put some more scribbly lines in here when all is said and done. And burnt umber, our darkest color here. Darkest color, but also letting some of this, the other lighter colors come through, shine through. And I am going to add some of our gray mixture as well, or what I did, the burnt umber and ultramarine. Really this, but I'm just going to let it blend with some of these. See, this one I really am winging because I didn't do this in my practice one. I kind of did something similar, but I'm being a little more haphazard here, but that's okay. But there's all different colors of rocks, and I think this is looking pretty. Maybe they're going to be a little darker like back here because I said my light source is coming from this side over here. So let's put some darker rocks in front of our lighthouse. Oh yeah, don't let me forget to put a door. Okay. Loving it. Loving it, loving it. I'm going to dry this now. Loving it. Loving it, loving it. Probably going to add some lines in there as well. Now, for our water. I know that looks like pretty neat water, but that's okay. This isn't really a ocean focused painting, the focus is our lighthouse. I'm going to grab some more French ultramarine, and then I'm going to grab some permanent sap green. Let's see what that looks like. Does it bother you that I use this card that has so many colors on it? That's a little light for me, and I actually want it to be a little bit more green. And so let's see. This might be too green. Let's see. That's kind of nice. We can always darken it up, but I think that I'm going to go with that for my first layer, if I even have any more layers, we'll see. I just realized I'm not wearing my rings today. Well, I haven't gone anywhere. I don't sleep in them. I don't shower in them. I don't wash dishes in them. So I just hadn't put them on yet today. Okay, wetting that first. Not really sure why I wet that first, but I did. I think I just love wet on wet. I love watching wet on wet. So maybe that's probably why I did that. And now that I've noticed my rings aren't on, it's kind of bothering me. So I'm probably going to go get them on. Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, I'm back. Rings and all. And you can see that I wasn't gone long because this is still very wet. And I'm going to dry my brush off so that I don't have any excess water on it and go right in here to try to just get some darker in there as well. Maybe I'll even dip in here. All right, I like that. I think it's really pretty. Let's dry that. Now, if you wanted more of a water feature, I guess, in here, you could make your waterline all the way back out here. I guess the perspective I'm looking at this is we're kind of looking up at this, and that's that. Okay, now I'm going to add a splash of red up here. And for the red, I am going to use a mixture of some Cad-free red and alizarin crimson. We'll see what that looks like. And guess what? I'm wetting it first because I want those to just go right. I just want them to mix right on the paper. I might regret that because I did not do that in my practice one. My practice one, like I said, I used the paints from my previous paintings. So we'll start with Cad and we'll just kind of dab that in here. Cadmium-free red, I should say. Okay, I'm going to dab my brush off, dry it off kind of on my paper towel, and then just go right into the alizarin crimson. And see what we have here. Okay, I like that. And I'm thinking I like the alizarin crimson a little bit more prominent than the cadmium-free red. It's just richer to me. I like it. All right, I'm going to let that just dry up there while I'm working down here. We're going to put our door back in. And just because I'm a little bit leery of it now because I didn't like how it was before, I am going to pencil it in. All right, my door, I've decided I'm just going to put it right in the middle rather than trying to get it over there. So I just have to remember some of it is blocked by the rocks, so I don't have to make it a full-size door because I think that was what I was not enjoying about it before, is it was just a little too big. So I'm going to go like that, maybe? Yep, I like it. And like I said, I would like it to be same color as our stripe. Got like a cat hair on my brush. Okay. I really could have gone with a smaller brush for this, but by the way, I've been using a size 6 Princeton snap brush all the way throughout this painting. I always try to remember to put my supplies in the description with links if you're interested in any of them. I don't always remember, but if you ever have questions, just ask me and I'll tell you what it is. Looks just a little crooked, so I'm going to bring this down here. And actually, I'm going to do a whole other coat because I want it to be nice and dark. And as I was drawing that, I'm looking up here saying, that is too wide open. So I'm going to take my pen again and just add like, let's see here. I don't know, I'm just feeling, I'm going to do the same thing I did in my practice one, which is just add a couple of lines here. And yep, I'm going to do it just like I did in my practice, which is we're going to make those lines there, and then the bottom of this is going to be the same red-ish that we used. Same-ish red. I don't know if this is accurate. Again, I'm not using a reference photo, and I didn't use a reference photo for my practice either. So, lighthouse expert, I am not. I love them, but don't really know much about them. I've never been in one unless I did when I was a teenager, but I don't remember. First time I ever went to Maine, I think I was 16, 15 or 16. And I just love it. Love it, love it. That is my cadmium free red, and now my alizarin crimson. I like that. I'm glad I didn't just leave that white. But I also feel like this is what I did in my practice one. I'm like, something needs to go in there, but I have no idea what a lighthouse light looks like. So what I did in my practice one is I just drew a circle. And I'm kind of being risky here without drawing this stuff, but I just kind of like did a very loose, scribbly circle just to give an indication of something there. And I don't know how it's attached. Maybe something down here. We'll just give little indications of something going on inside there. Okay, let's dry this and then talk about a background. We could leave it like this, but I really want a background. I'm kind of because I love this paper so much, I'm just loving it. So I am going to kind of do this mixture again, ultramarine and sap, but I'm going to do more ultramarine this time and less sap, but I do like a little bit of a blue green going here. Oh, I could have just added it right in there, couldn't I have? Oh well. Let's see what we have here. That's nice. Yeah, I think we'll go with it. But guess what? I'm going to wet it first. I'm going to grab a bigger brush because I want to get the background. How about that? That's a 16. Just so I can lay my water down, a bigger area anyway. Okay. Just going to kind of like dab it here and there. And you could leave white spots for some clouds or whatever you might want. I am going to kind of try to come up close to our lighthouse here. And there we go. I'm loving it. I love wet on wet so much. I'm going to bring some water over here just to kind of soften that edge a little bit because I started getting into the dry area, which didn't look good to me. I feel like the water is already drying over here, so I'm going to just add some more. I think that is happening. Again, this is only my 3rd page of the sketchbook, and I think it does dry really fast, which can be good and bad, depending. And we'll go up here. So let's just talk about my fingernails real quick because you guys mention them in the comments every now and then. And I would just like to let you know that about 4 days every 2 to 3 months, they look great. And then the other times, they are splitting halfway down the nail bed. I get hangnails, and I've almost always got several layers of polish on because ain't nobody got time for that. I did not do a background for my practice one, so this is also a new thing I'm doing on this one. I'm wondering if it's giving me that practice that I did, if that's giving me more confidence to just play with this one, because I really planned on this being a super short video, but that's okay. You can always watch me on like double speed. Up to you. All right, let me see how this looks. My window, which I love, but it's kind of causing a glare and a shine. I'm going to just go through here because you can see the sky through this. It's just a railing. And I'm kind of debating just a light blue through here too, because it's glass, you know what I mean? So let's just do a light version of the sky. through there as well. Any lighthouse experts out there, please tell me how incorrectly I did this. I'm curious. It's okay. I will not take offense. I'm just having fun here. Okay, and now I'm at the point where I'm going to dry this and then I'm going to add some more lines and we're going to be done. I'm noticing two things. One, I got my sky in my lighthouse. Not worried about it. Two, I don't like how the sky and the water don't go to the same, length or whatever. So I'm going to just add that right here and we'll be good. That makes me feel better. Okay, I've decided I'm going to put just the faintest bit of yellow in that light because I don't like how white it is. So I'm going to add a little bit of water first. And I'm going to take some Winsor lemon to start with because that's super light. And I know it's not a nighttime sky. That's why I don't want it to be like crazy yellow. So I'm going to clean my brush off, dry it off, and just put like the faintest little yellow. But that makes me feel better. Except it kind of looks neon, but that's okay. And now for our finishing touches. Micron size 8 again. Again, we could leave it right here, but it's a little too crisp. The lines are a little too crisp for me. So I'm just going to come in and start making some sketchy lines. And this one, I'm going to kind of bring it on in the center too, because I'm going to do some shading on this side with the lines. With our rock, I'm going to do some lines like this. Just make it nice and rocky. And now I'm just adding some more shading to the left side here. And I just don't know the last time I did a video that's this long. I know artists do really long videos. Some of them do hour and a half videos, but for me, this is not normal. So it feels weird and hilariously, like usually if I go over 10 minutes on a video, I kind of feel like I've failed. And I'm saying that tongue in cheek, so don't worry. I don't really think I failed. But yeah, that's just kind of my goal, is just to keep things short and sweet for you and for me. Okay, I really want the gray in the lighthouse to be a little more pronounced. So I'm going to put a little water here, grab a little bit of our kind of grayish black mixture. Hopefully our pen is dry. This is again where it's going to be important to have a waterproof pen, but also if it smudges, that's okay. That is quite all right. Whoops. A little bit more in our windows. Final touch, Posca Pen. I think I said my final touch was the black pen, but I just want some white highlights in here too. And just keeping in mind that my light source is coming from the right side. So just adding a few little subtle highlights. I don't know, I don't want too much white on the black there, but a bit little highlights in the rocks. I know, you might think, oh girl, you're ruining it now. This is just what I like. I like extra scratchy stuff. Extra lines make me happy. Am I overworking it? Yeah, I think I am. But that's okay. You know, we're just tweaking and I'm having fun. And boy, oh boy, I love this paper. I know I've already said it, but I'm just saying it again. Love this sketchbook. And if you watched either of my first sketchbook tours or any of the paintings I did in them, you know that I did not like either of those books. Okay, page 3 is done. If you missed pages 1 and 2 and want to take a look, I will link those in the description so you don't have to search for them. Otherwise, you can click right on your screen here and take a look at my Sketchbook Fun playlist, which has all the sketchbook pages that I've done this last year that I've been on YouTube, almost 1 year anyway. And I recently got monetized, so thank you all so much for watching and liking and just supporting me. And thank you also for giving me suggestions on painting. I enjoyed this one and looking forward to the next one. Hope you'll come back and join me for that one. Until then, take care.